Let's talk about literacy. Hi, my name is Nia. I am a 7th grade ELA teacher out here in Houston, Texas, and I have some concerns about our literacy rate in the United States, and I'm going to explain to you why you should too. So, to start off, literacy is the ability to read and write. Now, the reason I have some concerns about our literacy rate in the United States is because people are not being able to read and write at the age or the level of which they are, or statistically where they should be. So, let's start off. First, to begin, there are 4 stages, 4 levels to literacy. And I want to explain each and every one of them so that you have a clearer idea of what we're working with. So to start off, I have created a pyramid so that it's easier for you to see what I'm talking about. As you can see at the bottom of the pyramid, our foundational piece, that is level 1 of literacy. This is called functional literacy. This is where individuals are able to look at signs, interpret the signs, and then do the action that the sign is calling for. So think of it like someone being able to drive and they see that there are no U-turns allowed here. There's very little inferencing that needs to be done there. They just need to be able to understand that here we can't turn around, right? And then we go to our second stage of literacy. This is where we are at our basic level. Basic level literacy ranges between ages or grades 4th through 5th. This is where someone is able to read, write, and understand at that level of a 4th grader or a 5th grader. Think of like our Twilight books, our Percy Jackson books. They will be able to read and understand that book with little to no problem at all. And then we go to our level 3. This level 3 stage of literacy is called proficient. This is where someone is able to read at a slightly higher level. Think 7th or 8th grade level. They would be able to read books with a little bit more nuance to it, and they will also be able to produce a written sample at that same level. Okay, and then we go to our last and final stage, and that is our advanced stage of literacy. This is where someone is able to read, write, and produce at a higher rate. Let's think like end of high school, beginning to middle of college. Now, in that stage, people can range in where they are, but they're more able to understand the nuances that come in writing and in reading. This is where my concern comes in, because at this stage of literacy, 59% of the people in the United States are able to read at that level, are functional. They're able to understand these signs and do what the sign is asking them to do. Now, that is not bad at all. That's actually a very good number. That's a very good literacy rate that someone would be able to function at. It becomes an issue when we go to our level 2, because we lose a good chunk of people when we go from stage 1 to stage 2. So from our level 1 to our level 2, we lose a good chunk of Americans. 50% of Americans are able to read at a 3rd to 4th grade level. Now, in that stage this is where my concern starts to pick up, because I'm a 7th grade teacher. So by the time they get to me already, I can predict that half of my students are not able to read at the level of which they are in. They're not able to read at the grade level that they come in at. So then we go up to our proficient level, and this is where we lose even more of our Americans. 23% of Americans can read at a basic level of literacy or higher, meaning that we have people out in the world right now that is in our country who cannot read at the level of which they are expected to perform at. And that is where that's where my concern lies. And that's where your concern should lie as well. Because not only is literacy an issue that impacts teachers, because we're trying to teach the students, and how can we teach if we can't even get you to understand at the level or the grade level of which you are in currently? but it's an issue in the world in general. Because if we are expecting individuals to be able to go into the world and be able to have an upward ascension in the workforce, we have to understand that there's limitations to that. In order to ascend in any workforce, in a lot of workforces, you must have a basic grip of comprehension in writing at the level of which you're expected to perform. So how, as Americans, are we expecting our citizens to ascend up if they do not have the knowledge or they don't have the ability to do so? And this is where our issue comes in. So I am here as this is an introduction video because I understand that this is an issue, but I am a person that doesn't just call out issues. I also provide solutions. So stay tuned to figure out how can we solve the issue of literacy in the United States. And remember, it takes all of us reading, writing, understanding, and calling attention to for this issue to improve. So keep reading, keep writing, keep learning. Bye.